Oh my gosh, what if Donald Trump and Joe Biden are the victim of the same attempted coup? And I'm not kidding. This is going to take a minute, so sit down, grab a drink, and let's do this. So obviously we all know what happened to Donald Trump 9 days ago, so we won't go into that. But the interesting part of that is it happened right before the party's convention. Why is that interesting? Because a candidate doesn't officially become the party's nominee until they go through the parliamentary procedures at that convention. That's when it's kind of locked in and legal, right? So set that aside. And then Joe Biden decides that he's going to announce that he's not going to seek the party's nomination. Now, when did he do this? Before the convention. And some people would say, well, obviously, Josh, he's going to say it before the convention. That way he's, smart, wise, and benevolent. He can allow time for the party to figure out who they're going to nominate, which kind of makes sense unless you've been paying attention. But either way, it was prior to the nomination. Now, what's interesting to me, the first thing that popped up, is how these two things that are very rare, we haven't had an attempted assassination on a president or former president since Ronald Reagan in the 80s, and we haven't had an incumbent president not seek re-election since LBJ, ironically after the assassination of JFK. But whatever, that just got a little bit weirder if you think about it, but whatever. So either way, odd, and even odder still is that both of these odd things happen within a week of each other. Now, let's continue down this path. Why is the Joe Biden why is the Joe Biden not seeking the nomination so weird and odd? Well, because of the manner in which it happened, right? I mean, you have a letter that he put out on social media, and the White House staff did not know he was about to do this. So he puts this message out there on social media that says he's resigning. He did not address the nation. He did not tell the party. He did not, tell his insider. Like, it just came literally out of nowhere. Hey, I'm not going to seek the party's nomination. He didn't put it even on letterhead. And somebody could say, well, he shouldn't put it on White House letterhead. Then it would make it look like a sitting president is resigning, and that's not what he's doing. Yeah, but there's also from the private desk of Joe Biden letterhead. And he didn't put it on that either. Not only that, a bunch of people on the left are whispering in my ear saying, Josh, look at the signatures, they don't match. And I thought, oh, you bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists. So I went and looked at the signatures. They don't match. They're kind of close, but one looks like an S at the end, and you'll see it. Just Google it. But it gets even weirder still, because it's not necessarily that Joe Biden is deciding not to seek the party's nomination. It's the fact that 24 hours ago, or I guess at this point 36 hours ago, he told us he is going to seek it. He said, don't believe rumors that I'm not going to go for it. I'm in it to win it, baby. We're here all the way, blah, 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 blah. And at that same time, the party players, both inside the party itself and then the media incumbents, the people who are annually just covering this sort of crap, right? The talking heads that don't seem to go away. All of them were talking about, well, Joe Biden needs to do what's right for the party and not seek the nomination. Okay, great. I get it. His cognitive ability is obviously in decline. But you know what didn't happen? Nobody was talking about Kamala Harris getting the nod. Nobody. How do we know that? Rewind the tape. It was so crazy that people were actually feeling bad for Kamala Harris. You had the Clintons, the Bidens, the Chuck Schumer, the Newsoms, all the power players, all kind of jockeying for position and saying, ooh, this person should run, this person should run. Why would they even be suggesting people if everybody knew it was going to be Kamala? Because nobody wanted Kamala. Nobody. And a matter of fact, the American people didn't even want Kamala. If you're a true blue, LBGT supporting, go labor sort of Democrat, bringing in the blue wave, you hate Kamala. And it's not just me being mean, your vote proved it. When she ran against Joe Biden, she came in 9th or 10th. She was added to the ticket to add a woman of color and a female to that ticket. Now, I don't blame Biden for that. I would do it too. That's why you kind of balance out your presidential ticket. You go you. But that's why she was on there. She wasn't on there because people liked her. Democrats hated her, especially if you were black or Hispanic, because she is terrible for true reproductive rights, and she is terrible when it comes to criminal justice reform. So 36 hours ago, every Democrat on the planet was like, who are we going to get? Because it obviously cannot be Kamala Harris. Fast forward to Joe's weird, suspicious, I'm not going to seek the nomination thing. And has he addressed the public yet? No. Has he talked to any camera yet? No. So how do we know Joe actually said this? And I'm being dead serious. You've obviously seen him have to be controlled by the Easter Bunny to figure his way back into his house. How do we know Joe's not in a house someplace and somebody else wrote this letter and now they're just making Joe go along with it? And before you say, oh, that's just a weird conspiracy, so is being shot from a 4-degree roof while you're giving a rally in Pennsylvania. So, duh. Now, what has happened since this nomination? Or not this nomination, since this announcement, rather. Kamala Harris has unified the party. Everybody's in line. Nobody's challenging her. She's the hero of heroes. Rachel Maddow was literally crying on MSNBC. Like, oh, this is amazing. She's raising tens of millions of dollars. No, she's not. No, she's not. Kamala Harris has not raised a dime. There is no Kamala Harris campaign. I'm serious. There was a Biden-Harris one, but in order for Harris to raise money now that Joe has, I guess, said that he is no longer seeking the party's nomination, she has to file her own campaign with the Federal Elections Commission. So there is no Harris campaign. The money is going to other groups that donate. It's like Super PAC money and stuff like that, to kind of get behind Harris. But isn't it weird? Isn't it just weird that both of these rare things happen within a week, and then the Democrat that the Democrats hate somehow becomes this unifying Joan of Arc within minutes of this anomalous sort of announcement, and then we're all supposed to play along with it as if this is somehow normal? What if, and this is just for entertainment purposes only and a thought experiment, yada, 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 but what if the same power players in these parties, and when I said I don't like either side of this bird because it's an evil bird with two different wings, I meant it. I've been behind this curtain for decades. I've been politically involved for decades. What if the power players that don't like Trump and they don't like free-thinking Democrats are saying, we got to kind of put some kibosh on this? Just asking the question.